all of us are on a journey. This is the nature of life on earth. You came into the world, Allah, one of His names, everything is a tajalli of Allah. You know, all these names are manifesting in the world, everywhere. Huwa zahirun. You know, He's outwardly manifest. His names are manifesting themselves before us. He's the Muntaqim. He's the Afu. He's the Ghafoor. Inshallah, you're going to do the names in these coming days. But He's qahirun fawqa ibadihi, you know, and His qahar is powerful. Like He is the overwhelming, the overpowering. And part of being overwhelmed is that you came into the world and Allah has put you here. And you're on a journey, whether you like it or not. Some people don't want to go on a journey, but they're forced to. Right? They're forced to go on a journey. We're on a journey, whether you like it or not. And the journey has marahil. It has stations, and there's a road in front of you. And then there's diversions, do you see? But the problem with the diversions is that they won't get you to your goal, but you still end up going on that final journey. You're just not prepared. The diversions will always put you back, but without the provision you needed to really make the journey. So there's all these diversions, and shaitan is just sitting there on the road. He's got everything too. I mean, this is shaitan's heyday. He's never had more tools than he has today. It used to be ghiba, you needed another person with you. Now all you have to have is a cell phone or the internet. You can be anywhere and do ghiba. It used to be you had to have another person. You know, now anywhere you go, you've got the tools for ghiba. Just right there. You have the tools for namima. Right? It used to be, you know, that, I mean, now people, it's amazing, the internet and the amount of time that people spend on these things. Really. If you start, you know, you should clock in and just look and see what kind of time you spend on these things. Because people say, oh, I don't have any time. I never believe that. Because I know how much time I waste. You know, really. Everybody, we are master time wasters, human beings. Even the most efficient people waste time. Because you can't, like a machine has an efficiency rate. You know, like a car, they say it's about 7%. Like 93% of the car's energy is just wasted in a combustion engine, very inefficient. The human body, it's working at about 33% at optimal work. It's dissipating a lot of caloric energy. This is the nature of our creation. Allah has made a creation like this, right? Al-kamalu lillah. Only Allah is perfect. Even though His creation has its perfection, He put in the creation all these signs that by its very nature, it's falling apart. So also like that is your time, the amount of time you use. Everybody needs lahu. The Prophet ﷺ, he permitted it in certain times. The Sahaba used to have times of recreation. Recreation is an important part of life. But it's how much time you're wasting. Because you need some time, downtime. You have to have it. You have to sleep. You know, the eating also. And then there has to be that time just where your mind is. You can't read all the time. You'll get sick. Really, you will. If you read all the time, you can't read all the time. And if you know how to read, if you're doing serious reading, you can't read. Serious reading is more tiring than just empty reading. Reading for tasliyah, just for entertainment. Like thinking about what you're reading takes a lot of energy. So people waste time. It's a human condition. But Allah tells us, you know, وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا, you know, not to be people of israf. وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا, you know, don't be people of tabdhir. إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانَ إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ, because they're the mubadhirin, the consumers, are brethren of the shayateen, right? People that yubadhiru, they waste, just consume things. أَهْلَكْتُ مَالًا لُبَدًا, you know, the man boasts, I have spent vast amounts of wealth. أَهْلَكْتُ, like I destroyed it, consumed it. Right? One of the old English words for the devil is the consumer, because he consumes souls. And that's what this modern world is doing with people, is just consuming them. They're wasted away. Really, if you look out there, especially where people don't have ibadah anymore, you see the vacuity of the faces, you can see the emptiness, you can see the pain, there's a lot of suffering. And you shouldn't look at these people with contempt. You know, Muslims have traditionally looked with compassion. It's arrogance to have this view of superiority because, oh, they don't worship or they don't know. Who you should have told them. Uqba bin Nafi', when he arrived to the ocean of the Atlantic, they say he had his horse ride into the ocean. As the waves were hitting his horse, he said to Allah, "Oh Allah, if I knew there were people on the other side of this ocean, I would build ships to take your religion to them." And that was the himmah of the early Muslims. And that was the himmah of these people also, you know, to take Islam. And the great people of Tasawwuf who spread Islam in India and went into the little villages with the Hindus where they're worshipping idols and things like that, and they taught them about Islam.